Samsung just announced its brand new flagship devices in the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. I've gone hands-on with these two brand new devices, and in this video, I give you a first look at some of the standout features on Samsung's brand new smartphones. What's going on, Tech Squad? Andrew Edwards here, editor-in-chief of GearLive.com. If this is your first time here, this channel is all about tech, gadgets, and gaming. So if you're into that kind of stuff, feel free to hit the subscribe button down below along with the bell notification icon so you don't miss any future videos. As I mentioned, Samsung just announced the brand new Samsung Galaxy S9 and Galaxy S9 Plus. These are its two new flagship smartphones here for the beginning of 2018, and they'll remain the flagships at least until the Galaxy Note 9 is announced later this year. Now, as I mentioned, I was able to go hands-on with the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. Big shout out to Samsung for inviting me to check out the new devices. I was able to spend some time with both the S9 and the S9 Plus, and in this video, I'm sharing with you the top features that stood out to me. To kick things off, let's get started with the design. The first thing I noticed when I picked up the new Samsung Galaxy S9 and the S9 Plus is just how familiar they feel to last year's Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus smartphones. Not much has changed with the design of the S9 and S9 Plus, and I actually see that as a good thing. A lot of people want to see new designs every single year, but I'm much more of the mindset that I want to see refinement. If you have a great design, hold on to that design, refine the design, and perfect it going forward. The S8 and S8 Plus looked great and felt great in the hand, so Samsung kept that design going forward, and I've made an even better phone with a familiar form factor. And since it's a similar form factor, you get the same display sizes this year that you had last year, that being a 5.8-inch Super AMOLED display on the S9, with the larger Galaxy S9 Plus getting a 6.2-inch display. Both devices have an 18.5:9 aspect ratio and support Quad HD resolution. Samsung says that these displays will get 15% brighter than last year's Galaxy S8 display, so it'll auto adjust in instances where a brighter display is needed, such as in direct sunlight. Samsung did also mention that the bezels are ever so slightly smaller this year, so what you end up with is a smaller, more powerful device with the same screen size. Now, the size isn't something you're gonna notice right out of the box holding it in your hand. You really have to compare them side by side, take an S8 and an S9, put them together, and then you'll see the size difference. So it's not drastic at all, but it is a welcome change. The other design decisions Samsung made this year pertain to color. Here in the United States, we're gonna see three colors of the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, those being midnight black, lilac purple, and the return of the ever so popular coral blue. Now, there's also rumored to be a titanium gray model. They did not show that one to us when we were there, so I'm assuming that if it does exist, that's gonna be for international markets and will not ship in the United States. You'll also notice along the back that the fingerprint sensor has been relocated to a less confusing place, so now you won't have to worry about smudging up your camera lens since the sensor is beneath the camera like pretty much every other smartphone with a rear fingerprint sensor. On the topic of security and authentication, Samsung does also support both Face Unlock and Iris Unlock on the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus as well, along with an intelligent scan feature that'll use a combo of Face Unlock and iris detection for those of you who want enhanced security. If biometrics aren't your thing, you also have the standard PIN, pattern, and password to unlock your phone as well. Now, with the design out of the way, let's jump into what seems to be the main difference here on the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus when compared to last year's S8 lineup, and that is the cameras. Now, I've said it many times before, if you buy a flagship device, you're going to be getting a great camera. It doesn't really matter which flagship you buy, the cameras are pretty much superb across the board, whether you buy an iPhone, whether you buy a Galaxy device, whether you buy a Pixel, etc. But for many years, people have recognized both the iPhone and Samsung's Galaxy S line to both have pretty much the top of the line when it comes to cameras, until a couple of years ago when Google slipped in and started changing the game with the Pixel. The original Pixel, and even more so the Pixel 2, have been stealing the attention as far as smartphone cameras go, and Samsung is coming out of the gate swinging with the camera improvements made to the Galaxy S9 series. So what sets the cameras apart on the Galaxy S9? Well, for the first time in my memory, a smartphone is shipping that supports more than one aperture. Instead of a fixed aperture, you've got a dual aperture on the main wide angle lens. Those apertures being f2.4 alongside f1.5 on the super speed dual pixel shooters. The camera is smart enough to switch between these two apertures on the fly, but if you go into the Pro mode, you can actually change them manually yourself, and it's actually pretty cool. When you change the aperture, you can actually look on the back of the phone and see the camera aperture change right before your eyes. So what does this mean in plain English? Well, it means if you're out in a nicely lit daytime environment, the camera will know to switch over to the f2.4 lens so that it'll capture that wide color that's all around you without anything getting blown out. However, if you're in a low light environment, maybe it's evening, maybe you're in a dark restaurant or a club and you want to take some photos, it'll know to automatically switch over to f1.5 in order to take in even more light to make sure your photos continue to look clean and crisp. And again, if you use the auto mode or any of the other non-pro modes on the camera, it's going to do this intelligently by itself. You don't have to worry about the aperture at all. But if you are a pro or want to use those pro features, you can go into the pro mode and switch it on your own. And if you're wondering how good the f1.5 mode is, Samsung actually had a demo where we peeked into a cylinder that was dark and we looked in there and we didn't see anything. Then we took the Galaxy S9, put it on the f1.5 mode, and then looked through that and we could see what was at the bottom of the cylinder. So this camera is pretty powerful. Now that's not all for the camera news on the Galaxy S9, or more specifically the Galaxy S9 Plus, because Samsung has now taken that second camera from the Galaxy Note and moved it over to the Galaxy S9 Plus as well, which means the Galaxy S9 Plus is now a dual camera smartphone. That second lens is a telephoto 12 megapixel camera with an f2.4 aperture, and both lenses support optical image stabilization. So whether you're taking photos or out shooting video, you're gonna get nice, clean, crisp images and smooth, buttery video. For all you selfie lovers out there, the front camera is a wide angle 8 megapixel lens with an f1.7 aperture. So not much has changed there, but the front camera on the S8 was pretty fantastic. So you can expect the same on the S9 as well. Continuing on the camera front, Samsung is also adding in a powerful slow motion feature, which allows you to shoot at 960 frames per second at 720p resolution. Now that is actually a crazy stat, both the 960 frames per second and the fact that it's at 720p. When I heard they were gonna do 960, I figured it was gonna be a 480p video resolution, but it's actually 720p high definition. Now, one thing about shooting slow motion video, sometimes you're trying to catch something particular in the scene, and when you hit record, you actually miss it. Samsung's also built in a feature that captures super slow-mo when the camera sees something enter a portion of the display. So you specify the area and you hold the phone up to the scene, and if something goes through the area specified, it'll immediately capture a 960 frame per second super slow motion clip. And you can see here that I tried it a few times, and again, the way that it figures out when to capture the slow motion clip is when there's movement in the specified area. So since I started moving around early, it actually fired off earlier than I wanted it to, but eventually I was able to get it down. As you can see here, this is how the super slow motion feature is supposed to work. One other camera feature I'm gonna touch on briefly is the AR emoji feature. This is kind of Samsung's answer to Apple's Emoji, but with Apple, they're actually animating the emoji characters, and with Samsung, the AR emoji is animating an emoji version of you. The camera scans your face and automatically creates your likeness, which you can then dress up and accessorize. I personally didn't find any clothes I would realistically wear in real life, and had no clue where my beard went, but maybe that was buried in a setting somewhere and I didn't feel like looking all over the place for that. Once you have your AR emoji, you can use it in the camera, in text messages, and in other places as well to convey your thoughts and feelings in emoji form. Now let's step away from the camera for a moment and talk about one of the other features that I thought was a major improvement, at least for me, someone who enjoys music and entertainment on my smartphones, and that is finally the addition of stereo speakers on a Samsung Galaxy device. Similar to what you'll find on Apple's current iPhone 8 and iPhone 10, not only do you have the bottom firing speaker on the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, but you also have the earpiece now that acts as a second loudspeaker as well. Together, they give you stereo sound, and the speakers are tuned by AKG, and the phone is also certified for Dolby Atmos surround sound as well. There you have it, guys. That was your first hands-on look at Samsung's brand new Galaxy S9 and Galaxy S9 Plus smartphones. If you're excited to pick one up, you can pre-order these devices beginning on March 2nd, and they release to the public on March 16th. So you'll be able to get your hands on these in just about 3 weeks. Now, there are even more features I'm going to be showing you between now and then. Those include new additions to what Bixby can do, as well as improvements made to Samsung's DeX platform. If you're excited about the Samsung Galaxy S9 and enjoyed this one, please do drop a like on this video, and don't forget, if you haven't done so already, you can click or tap on my face when it appears here at the bottom of the screen in order to subscribe for free to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks so much for watching. As always, guys, I appreciate your support. I'm Andrew Edwards, and I will catch you in the next video.